Hello dear students, we are here with a new video which will help you understand the practical aspects of security laws and capital markets. So in CS Executive, we have capital markets which is part B in the new syllabus. And here we have lesson number 15 which talks about structure of the capital market. So in this, for you to understand the practical aspects, today we are joined by Mr. Srinivas, who is a full-time investor in the markets. Hello, Mr. Srinivas.
Hi everyone, nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for joining us. So now we have one topic in lesson number 15, which talks about mainly the basis of the index, that is SENSEX and NIFTY. So to understand this in a practical oriented manner, we'll be first asking some questions to Mr. Srinivas. So the first question which I have is, how are these stocks selected to be part of this index? Because we know it's an index, but how are we selecting the stocks? Can you please help us understand the practical side of things?
Sure. For a stock to be in the Nifty, for example, if we take Nifty as an index, it is an index of 50 stocks. For a stock to get into Nifty 50, it has to be among the top 100 companies of India. By top 100, I mean top 100 biggest companies of India, and its futures and options have to be traded on the index. Okay, so this is not the only criteria, but this is the most important criteria. It should be among the top 100 companies of India, and its futures and options should be traded on the index.
So when we say top 100, in what basis it is top 100?
It is market capitalization, the market value of the company. So that is essentially number of shares multiplied by the price of each share.
Okay, so once you're top 100 of the company, they're eligible to be part of the index. Is that right?
Yeah. And their futures and options should be traded on the index. That's another
futures
thing.
Okay, futures and options of that particular companies have to be traded on the index. Then they will become eligible to be part of the index, correct?
This is the most important criteria. There are other criteria, but this is the most important criteria.
Yeah, I think that is sufficient for this short video for us to understand. Now, the next question which we want to ask is, how do they assign the weightage? On what basis is weightage being given to these stocks?
Yeah, actually the weightage is given mainly based on the free float of the company. By free float, I mean the non-promoter holding. Okay, if the promoter holding, as the students all know, promoter holding can be maximum 75% of the company. So if the promoter holding is 75% of the company, very likely that company will be assigned a lower weight. Take for example TCS and Infosys. Both are from the same sector and both are large companies. Despite TCS having a larger market capitalization, it has a lower weight because the promoter holding in the TCS is close to 70% and Infosys just has a promoter holding of 10%. So the free float market capitalization is the most important factor in assigning the market weightage of a company.
Okay, good. So now the next thing we want to understand is, see, all of the students would have heard they say that the index, usually whether SENSEX or NIFTY, we call them as barometer of the economy. Though there are only a limited number of companies, still it is seen as a very big thing in terms of business and the whole angle when we talk about news. So here, can you tell us, are all the sectors of the economy represented, and what is the criteria practically when they come up with the final index?
See, actually, ideally, all the sectors of the economy should be represented. But as I said, some of them are not in the top 100. For example, take for example, financial sector. It has a huge weightage on the index. So some auto component manufacturers, for example, auto ancillary manufacturers, don't have a representation in the index. So there have been many, petitions made to the NIFTY and the SEBI to ensure no particular sector gets outsized weight on the index. This can lead to market imbalance in the market, imbalances in the market.
Okay. So how do they ensure that in the top 100 companies, like how many sectors do you think will be
Yeah,
represented in this?
actually, basically, there is financial sector. Financial sector
Okay.
has the entire gamut of companies, banks,
Mm.
NBFCs, insurance companies. Okay, and there is IT. There are
Yeah.
automobiles. In automobiles, there are two-wheelers. There are cars. Okay, there
Correct.
is power
Correct.
sector. There is
Yeah.
natural gas and oil. Okay,
Yeah.
there are many sectors, and attempt or effort is made to include all the sectors so that the headline index really mirrors the actual economy of the country.
Yeah. So coming to that, actually, that was my next question. So how do we say that the headline index tells the story of the evolution of economy? Like, because so much importance is given to that.
Yeah.
When we look at the number of listed companies, there may be 5,500 to 6,000 listed companies.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell us about this evolution and how it
So
works?
actually, let us take, for example, Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE.
Yeah.
It is the oldest stock exchange in Asia.
Correct.
And it started in about 19th century, mid or late 19th century. And as you can imagine, then there were no concept of automobiles, at least automobiles. Of course, there was no SENSEX there. Just
Correct.
assuming there was a SENSEX there would have been no automobiles. Okay,
Correct.
there would not have been power companies.
Or
Okay,
IT
so
sector, information
yeah,
technology.
information technology. There was absolutely no concept of computers and IT. So
Correct.
as the economy moves along, as the economy changes, the composition of the index also changes. For example,
Correct.
in USA, there was automobile sector. There is automobile sector, but there is one company called Tesla, which makes electric cars.
Correct.
Okay, so that company has will be included in S&P 500. So there
Okay.
was no concept of electric cars. Now that you see electric car company in the index, you know electric cars are doing good business, or it is the sector of the future for the economy.
Yes. Yes. So can you give us some more examples and practical about this evolution and headline index, how it
Yeah, actually
works?
in 1990, there was no weightage of IT on the Nifty or Sensex. There was no
Yeah.
concept of information technology in India, and it was at a very nascent stage.
Correct.
Infosys came up with an IPO in 1994. Okay,
Yes.
and
Yes.
from 1990, the sector weightage was zero, and in 2020, the sector weightage is about 15%. Okay, and
Okay.
during the dot-com boom in 99 2000, in
Hmm.
US, the sector weight of the IT went up dramatically. So it also shows the irrational market behavior. When one sector is overrepresented, chances are that that sector is being valued, or there is a bubble in the market.
Okay. So now this is it a pretty much equal percentage that the weightage is given to each sector, or how does it work?
No, actually, the one complaint, as I said previously, the financial sector has very big weightage on Nifty, about
Okay.
25%. About 25% weightage is given to Nifty.
Hmm.
Then there is IT, then there is auto. Say, take for example, due to global warming and all that, we'll be
Hmm.
facing shortage of water, it seems.
Correct.
The experts predict shortage of water. So a water treatment company,
Hmm.
even big, it may be just out of 100, top
Hmm.
100 companies, but that sector, just this
Hmm.
purely for example purposes, that may not get representation on the index. Even
Correct.
auto ancillaries, as I said, some auto part makers, some
Yeah.
auto part makers like Bosch,
Hmm.
they are very big companies, bigger than the car manufacturers themselves. But some
Yes.
of the auto part makers don't have representation in the index. So this is a
Hmm.
problem. No method is foolproof. When you take top 100, some of the good companies which deserve to be on the index are not on the index.
So how seriously do you think we should take the index considering this point? Especially in an evolving economy right now, things are
Yeah,
evolving so quickly. Like you told Tesla example in
yeah.
America.
Yeah, the thing is, if you look at the composition of Sensex from 1980, I think Sensex was started in 1980 with the initial number of 100. The index started with a number of 100. Okay.
Yeah.
The churn has been tremendous. If you take the 30 companies which were on the Sensex, only 3
Hmm.
or 4 remain even now in the Sensex. Only 3 or
Oh,
4. are remaining now. So it has been such a churn in the market that whatever companies you take, because of technological obsolescence, some companies simply don't survive in the market. So it's a case of creative destruction. In capitalism, there is creative destruction, and new companies take the place of old ones.
Yes, that is correct. So basically, you're saying it's an evolving thing, and we don't have too much importance in the long run because the sectors keep changing, and we need to just look at the current scenario from time to time. Is that right?
Yes, actually, the index is rebalanced twice a year. Twice a
Twice
year,
a
every
year.
six to every
Okay.
6 months, the index is rebalanced.
Okay.
And there are some chance. Even some 1 month ago, a new company was added, HDFC Life Insurance.
Okay.
Again, it is from a financial sector. Again, financial sector weightage has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
there is a lot of discontent about one sector occupying so much weight in the index. There has to be some course correction on this.
Yes. Yes. So we can expect some changes in the future, is what I feel.
Certainly, certainly. Actually, the thing is, as I said, electric car revolution, some companies in the environmental sector, so they need to come into the index. That's happening in the developed economies now. So that same thing will happen in the emerging economies or developing economies in a decade or two.
Okay, but the problem is again this top 100 companies problem will prevail, right? Or should they
Yes, yes, that
amend
is the problem. So unless they break into the top 100, they really have no chance to get into the Nifty 50.
So
This is
do
one
you
problem. Yeah.
do you feel there is a chance this top 100 company criteria can be changed by any
I
chance?
think it should be. There is much deliberation on this. When you take top 100 during times of euphoria, uh, take for example in 99 2000 IT boom, .com bubble. Many of those who got into top 100 are not doing business now. They went bankrupt.
Correct.
So top 100 is not really the criteria. The effort should be to include all sectors of the economy and prune the weight of a sector to a reasonable extent.
Yeah, correct. I think that is something definitely they have to consider doing.
Regulators are looking into it actually.
Okay, that is really nice to know. So I think you have given us a clear picture about, first of all, what is the weightage, what kind of sectors are there, and what is the basis which they consider for a company to be in the index. We got a clear picture on this topic. So we'd like to thank you for being part of this video. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Same.
Yeah. So, dear students, so that was Mr. Srinivas, a full-time investor. So he gave us a practical orientation about the basis of the index, that is SENSEX and NIFTY. So he told us what are the kind of companies which will be considered, like the top 100 companies in market capitalization, which will be considered for the index, and what are the weightages given. He also gave us a very good understanding of the history and also what are the things, how it will evolve. He told us about the boom of IT sector and many more aspects like that. So thank you very much for joining everyone. So please do keep in touch with Ekcel Academy for more such videos where we'll be talking with different experts and understand the practical side of things. See, when you write these things in exam, definitely it will add weightage to your answer. Because if you're just writing the theory, it will not give you a differentiating factor compared to your friends. So what I would really encourage all the students is, please write the practical aspects. Please watch this video. Take the points which in this video, which Mr. Srinivas has told, so many anecdotes he also told, so many examples. Add those things in your notes and make sure you write it in the exam. And for more such videos, please subscribe to Ekcel Academy, your one-stop solution for the CS course.